Rain hammered the pavement, turning the street into a blurred smear of gray. May lunged forward, boots skidding on slick stone, her lungs burning with every jagged breath. She needed cover. The wind shoved her toward a structure set back from the road, a house that looked as if it were sinking into the mud. She reached the porch, her hand trembling as she gripped the handle. The door groaned, fighting her, before swinging wide into a hallway choked with dust and the scent of trapped, stagnant air. She stepped inside, the sudden silence of the interior ringing louder than the storm. In the center of the room, resting on a scarred mahogany table, sat a small, ornate wooden box. It looked untouched by the decay surrounding it. May approached, her fingers hovering over the lid before she pushed it back. Inside lay a pocket watch with a cracked glass face. She picked it up, the metal cold against her palm. An inscription was etched into the casing. "Do not use me unless you are prepared for the loss." May let out a sharp, cynical laugh that echoed off the peeling walls. "Someone clearly has a flair for the dramatic," she whispered, her voice sounding thin in the vast, dark space. She thumbed the side button, and the mechanism clicked. A high-pitched hum vibrated through her palm, teeth rattling and sharp. The air in the hallway curdled. Beyond the window, the rain ceased its descent, hanging suspended in midair like jagged diamonds. May reached for the glass, but her fingers passed through empty space. The world lurched. A sickening sensation of falling upward gripped her stomach. The room dissolved into a smear of gray light. She blinked, the motion jarring her skull. The smell of stagnant dust vanished, replaced by the sharp, biting scent of wet asphalt and cold wind. She was standing on the street corner, the same street corner she had left 10 minutes ago. Her heart hammered against her ribs like a trapped bird. She looked down at her hands. They were shaking violently. The watch was still clutched in her grip, its cracked face reflecting the dim street lamp. She took a step, and her boots splashed into the exact same puddle she had navigated before. She was caught in a loop. May walked the path again, her boots striking the pavement with a rhythm that felt like a ticking clock. She knew exactly what would happen next. She knew the sound of the distant thunder, the specific flicker of the street lamp, and the way the wind would gust against her back. She reached the intersection, her eyes scanning the street with a frantic, searching intensity. Then, she saw it. A child, small and focused, darting into the road after a bouncing ball. The movement was sudden, reckless, and entirely unaware of the danger. May stopped dead. Her breath hitched in her throat as she heard the low, guttural growl of an engine approaching from around the corner. The car accelerated, its tires biting into the wet asphalt with a high-pitched screech. The child was in the center of the lane, reaching for the ball. May felt the watch pulse against her palm, a rhythmic, burning heat that demanded action. She looked at the child, then at the car, then back at the watch. The distance between them was closing, measured in heartbeats and inches. The car headlights cut through the rain, blinding and inevitable. May did not hesitate. She slammed the button on the watch, a sharp, metallic click that echoed louder than the thunder. The world dissolved into a smear of gray and black. The rain stopped mid-fall. The car froze in its turn, and the child hung suspended in the air like a marionette with cut strings. Then, the world lurched backward. May found herself standing at the curb, the air smelling of ozone and wet pavement. She did not wait for the sequence to repeat. She lunged forward, her boots skidding on the slick concrete. She reached the center of the road just as the car roared past, the wind of its passage whipping her hair back. She grabbed the child by the jacket and yanked them hard, pulling them into the safety of the sidewalk. The car tires shrieked, a long, agonizing sound that faded into the distance. The child gasped, eyes wide, clutching the ball to their chest. May stood over them, her chest heaving, her hands trembling. She looked down at her wrist. The watch was still there, its metal casing pulsing with a faint, sickly light. The next morning, the city hummed with life, but May felt only a hollow silence. A girl sprinted toward her, face flushed with relief. shouting her name. May stood still. She searched her mind for a connection, a name, or a shared history, but found only a vast empty space where her past should have been. She looked at the girl and shook her head. "I am sorry," May said, her voice devoid of warmth. "Do I know you?" The girl faltered, her expression fracturing into confusion. May turned her wrist. The watch remained, its surface cold and heavy. She retreated to her room, the silence pressing against her ears. She pried the casing open, expecting to see the intricate dance of brass gears. Instead, she found a void. Deep within the mechanism, a human eye blinked. It stared back at her with a terrifying singular focus. The price of the rescue had been paid in full. Her memories were gone, and the watch was watching back.